Women as agents of peace the world over have been dedicated to sustainable conflict transformation at the grassroots and also volunteer to lead fellow women and youth promote active tolerance and responsible citizenship in communities experiencing different forms of conflict and violence. Women as agents of peace in the Rwenzori region have integrated conflict sensitivity and the full participation and empowerment of girls and women towards peace building. This has also been supported by the belief that social change begins with personal responsibility and is sustained when people are actively engaged in creating the shared future for their community, which belief has been one of the cornerstones in implementing the amplifying of the participation of women in peace building processes in the Rwenzori region. Just like the Rwenzori region in particular, dealing with the reasons why people fight in the first place, supporting societies to manage their differences and conflicts without resorting to violence as well as preventing the outbreak, escalation, continuation and recurrence of violence have been contributed to this long-term and collaborative process of changing people's attitudes, behaviors, norms and institutional arrangements among others. In a bid to achieve this, there are women who have stood against these odds and thrived amidst these storms. AWF therefore proposes to base this documentary on interviews conducted with female leaders in the Rwenzori region to share their experiences participating in a male-dominated environment and culturally sensitive environment that perceives women as secondary beings so as to uplift their efforts towards peace building, which will capture the various initiatives and other efforts women have done for the sake of building peace in the region.
Looking at our history, this region of Rwenzori is characterized by different conflicts. Actually, we are a conflict hotspot area. There are different conflicts within our region, ranging from tribal wrangles, land wrangles, natural resource conflicts, gender-based violence. If you recall previously, we were ranking second region, sub-region in early marriages in the whole of Uganda. And in our region, Kasese was taking lead and Chenjojo was following. So based on this, Rwenzori Forum for Peace and Justice, with support from UN Women under the auspices of the Women, Peace and Humanitarian Fund, we came up with a project that we started implementing the previous year, 2021, January. And we are working in partnership with another organization, Action on Women Foundation, in this project. So we came up with a project called Amplifying the Participation of Women in Peace Building Processes. And the major aim is just to bring women on board. Yes, we have the conflicts, but we don't see women come up to resolve these conflicts. We never see women come and be part of the committees that come to conciliate, that come to mediate conflicts when they occur. Right from family level, if you look at our history, and this is mainly because of the nature of our culture, women never even come up in clan meetings to resolve a conflict that has come up. So that's why we said, much as we have these conflicts, let us not leave them to only the men to be the ones to participate in resolving them. So we came up with this project so that we can bring women at the forefront of conflict resolution and peace building.
Peacekeeping seeks to address the underlying causes of conflict, helping people to resolve their differences peacefully and lay the foundations to prevent future violence. Women who partake in peace processes usually focus more on reconciliation, education, transitional justice, and economic development. They speak up for the excluded groups and the need to address the underlying causes of conflict.
Peace being a process driven by active understanding, dialogue, and positive engagement with others, and being founded on trust and respect, women in the Rwenzori region have been able to address cultural and structural violence issues in their communities. Contexts here include intertribal, interethnic, interreligious violence, gender inequalities, exclusion of minorities like people with disabilities, post-conflict trauma, response, reconciliation, and integration within their community.
We started by identifying stakeholders to work with. So we decided to build our own structure, and this is the structure of community reporters. So in the 4 districts where we are operating, where there is Chenjojo district, Kabarole district, Kasese and Bundibujo, we had to train 40 community reporters, and 80% of these are women, because we recognize that the role of women in peace building is very, very important. And yes, they have not disappointed us. They are doing various work in as far as peace building is concerned. One, they mediate conflicts right from household level, community level, and then they resolve them. Secondly, we have built their confidence. Before, many of them couldn't even call for a community meeting. But today they call for these meetings, they sensitize their communities, and then they resolve the conflict at hand. 3, we have also connected them to structures, the peace building infrastructure within their districts. They are well connected to the RDCs, to the community development officers, to the probation officers, to the police, because we believe they cannot resolve conflicts in their communities on their own. They need help. So whenever they are faced with peace building issues which they are not able to resolve on their own, they connect with the police and they are assisted. They connect with their community development officers and they are assisted. They connect with their RDCs and they are assisted. So we really do appreciate the work of this structure that we have established, especially because it is dominated by women. Women have come to prove to society that they can also do very great work in as far as peace building is concerned. Thank you. We are working with Action on Women Foundation, our partner, which helps us actually to connect, especially with the infrastructure at the national level. But also within our region, we have cultural institutions, and we are working with them because we recognize the fact that the role of women in peace building has not been coming out very well due to our cultures. If you notice that most of our cultures undermine women, if I use that word, and that's how they are. So we have also come up to work with these cultural institutions like Toro Kingdom, like Obusinga bwa Rwenzori, Obudingi bwa Mamba, the Basongora, and the Banyabindi, to make sure that we bring women on board. We want to appreciate, for example, in all these kingdoms, they bring women on board. Women are even have ministerial positions in these cultural institutions. For example, here in Toro Kingdom, the first Deputy Prime Minister is a woman, and we have worked closely with her. We have also worked with the ministries of gender in these cultural institutions to make sure that we amplify the role of women in peace building.
So I'm very grateful for that initiative and the work that we are doing there in our district and the region at large. Women in my community, especially the Individual Town Council and the district at large, have managed to mediate conflicts within themselves, whereby when a woman gets a challenge, whether domestic violence, whether land, any other conflict, they know how to mediate it, because we've been having community dialogues and these women have been taught and they know how to handle these conflicts and how to mediate them with the help of the community reporters. So another thing that these women are now doing in our community through the reporters and through our efforts and the talk shows that Rwenzori Forum has been having on the UBC and Development FM, women nowadays, they know how to refer cases. For example, if they find that this case they cannot manage to handle it, they refer it to the respective channels. For example, the probation officer, like the RDC, you find them referring this conflict, even to us, the community reporters. When a woman finds that she cannot solve a case on her own, she calls us. So us also, when we see that we cannot also solve, we also refer to either police, the probation officer, and through that, these women have managed to do what? To solve the conflicts in their communities. Also, these women, they've also managed to form committees at village levels. These committees have really helped them enough, because these committees at their villages keep on reporting to them. Like you find they have a chairperson who is in charge of conflicts at the village level, even they have a secretary. So when these committees sit, they try to bring in somewhat challenges that they've been going through. So in so doing, they are solving what? Problems in the region. For example, we've been having a lot of domestic violence in our communities, but these women have managed to make maybe the, let me say, if the rate at which the domestic violence has been so high, through the committees that they've formed at the village level, at least we are seeing a change.
We've done so many, and in fact we thank the UN Women and RFPJ for the good work done. If it wasn't them, we wouldn't have done much, like I've said. At least we've attended and participated, and we've had enough trainings and workshops aiming at alternative for peace building. Like I've told that we've done so many things. With peace, I can't say. Kasese, we've been bad off in terms of conflicts, fighting each other conjos, even those ethnic groups. We couldn't even give them space. But because of number of trainings, number of workshops, number of meetings that we've undertaken, at least there's peace. We can now interact with those ethnic groups. We can now share political positions. Like I'm the chairperson of the Women's Council, my vice is Msongora from an ethnic group. So I think at least that is a step taken. Therefore, we are saying at least we are moving a step. Two, we've come together as women. We've made a number of groups. We are making art and craft. We are saving. We have a number of groups. Like we have another group from Karusandara, women living with HIV. We are Bakonjos are there, Basongoras are there, Bachiga, Banyankora are there, to mention them. At least we've now come together as women to make sure we improve on our economic activities. That is what we've gone. Three, we've taken leadership skills, leadership positions. Like recently, our speaker for the district was uplifted. He got another job. So we had to go again for elections. But I'm happy. Last time, only men had taken that position. The speaker was a male, the deputy speaker was a male, but this time around the speaker is a male and the deputy is a female. So I think that is another achievement. At least we are moving a step and we are proud of that. More so, at least we are sharing. We are sharing these political positions, and at least we are getting a gap of disseminating the information of peace from these offices that we have. Wherever I go, I as the chairperson, I'm given a platform. Then I disseminate the information of peace. Through these trainings and these positions, we've tried to push other women also to come on board so that we increase numbers. Two, we've at least talked about education of the girl child. And I, for one, I'm a beneficiary of go back to school, stay in school, and complete school. Like I've always told you members that I dropped in senior 3, but because of these trainings, I had to get morale and courage to go back to school. I went completed my senior 4, I went for a certificate diploma, and here I am. So at least we are pushing for the women to go back to school. If they went back to school, we shall eliminate on violence, domestic conflicts. At least we encourage women to go back to school. When a woman has gone back to school, that is a step taken. You know, when you are informed, you don't behave like a literate woman. You will know laws, you know where to go, you will know your rights. So that's why we are saying that at least women should go back to school so that they become peaceful. I, for one, am happy. In my village, in my community, people know me as an ambassador of peace. Like recently, I had to mediate my family, my father-in-law with my mother-in-law. They had conflict over 2 years. So they came to me, what should we do? They knew me as a peace actor because they have seen fruits in me because of these trainings, because of the position I'm holding as a woman. Therefore, we've taken at least a step. We are so happy for this.
First and foremost, government of Uganda has already set structures where we have positions which must be taken up by women. From LOC 1 to national level, if I can just talk from LOC 1 to district level, we have the vice chairperson at every level of leadership. This is a position that is kept for someone who is in charge of children and women. And to me, that is an opportunity for women to take up this opportunity. I can give you another example. For the District Council of Kasese, we are having 24 women representing women from their different sub-counties, including now a deputy speaker who was just elected 1 week ago. This is putting women in positions to excel. So through leadership, we have positions that are reserved for women, and the purpose is to make women excel in planning, in development aspects, and also in empowering them also to work towards bringing other women on board through their leadership positions. So that leadership position or structure of leadership makes women to excel. But also government has not stopped on that. For Kasese, I am talking as a probation officer. I am a woman. That is already a system that has put me in position to fight for the rights of the women and children and the whole community. So we have CDOs, those are the community development officers. And out of the 44 community development officers in Kasese, actually 28 of them are women. And to me, this is a system that is making women to get out of the corridors, and we can now excel as a result of being educated. So the education system is bringing us out. The political or governance system is bringing us out as a system, and also the empowerment is bringing us out. For those who did not get chance to for education, they are doing business. And when you come to Kasese, you will find out that most of the big businesses are now owned by women. We have a woman called Vera Udia. She's dealing in coffee, and she's employing more than 100 people. But most of the people she's employing are women. And this shows you that once women are empowered, then you will see peace. The Rwenzori Peace for Justice, it has empowered us with capacity building. This is a system we cannot take for granted, giving us knowledge and skills that is making us to excel in the community. Actually, Rwenzori Peace for Justice, it empowered me through their trainings. I can now write a proposal. I can now speak in a big event without fear, without maybe thinking that now there is a honorable minister, there is what. I need to iron out issues that are concerning women and children in the community, but also emphasizing the issue of peace building. Women were excelling in peace building. As we develop, as we initiate, as we empower our children in our homes, working together with our husbands, we are creating peace that is making our home safe and also the community safe. Women, we always get a lot of issues, especially when we get conflicts in the community. If we get disasters like one we have been getting in Kasese. But I want to tell you that there are women who are bringing out these issues of socio-economic development. They always come to government and say, our safety is not, we are not secured. The environment we are in is not secured. And it is the reason now for Kasese, the district council has already approved bamboo tree planting as a result of the voice that came out from the women who have suffered a lot as a result of disasters. So women in building peace, especially for Kasese, we are not only talking about it, but we are excelling through the systems that government has already put in place, and also allowing the development partners to work with us. The PP, that is the public-private partnership, which is making the Rwenzori Peace and Justice organization to come and work with us. we do appreciate, but it is an environment that government has created. And I still believe that there is a big deal that we need to look at. We have been talking about peace all the time, and people have heard about peace through the efforts that we have put in place. But we need to put something that will sustain peace in our community, in our Rwenzori.
To begin with, we are seeing in our region that most women, let me mention, most women are not coming on board to talk about their rights and to fight for their rights. I think that was due to the background and the environment they come from. So I would call upon cultural leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, name it, to come on board and always empower these women. Talk to them, advise them, if need be, give them some activities to do, support them financially if there is need or if it is possible, so that we see them coming. So to begin with, Fort Portal is blessed with the various tourism attractions, and as a city leadership, we passed, there are certain structures that have come along which were not in the past in the city, the municipality. We are saying that at least jobs that will be given, women should be given a portion. And tourism itself, there are 2 posts. We are putting an affirmative action whereby at least amongst the 2 positions of tourism, at least 1 should be taken by a lady. And this lady, I think, will be able also to come along and guide other women to see that they improve the tourism attraction in Fort Portal City.
We have got the knowledge, but we need to be empowered physically. For example, the women who are our survivors in the community, we need to give them skills that will make them survive beyond today. We need to plan to have a green project for our survivors, like those who want to do tailoring, those who want to do salon, those who want to do driving. Let them get empowered so that they can be independently supported. They also get to support their families. 2, we need to encourage men to know their responsibilities in protecting the rights of the women.
As far as promoting peace is concerned, women have been brought on board. They've been taught how to mediate, advocate for peace, and also go and interact with other people who are actually being affected by unpeaceful coexistence or living. And as women, however much we've tried to create peace and promote peace in this Rwenzori region, there are different issues that have really affected women as far as they are trying to promote peace is concerned. One is political indifferences. As you well know that in our country, Uganda, there is that political influence whereby we have different political parties coming out to bid for political power. We have NOP, we have NRM and the rest. As RFPJ is trying to bring out these women together, we have different political parties in them. So definitely these people will try to come out with their own interests. So there is a conflict of interest among political parties and of course being spearheaded by these women. Definitely they will not be able to bring out the best as they are trying to promote peace or peaceful coexistence. Then another thing is religion, religious indifferences also. We have Muslims, we have Catholics, we have Protestants and the rest of course. We have unity. These people are trying to fight for peace. They still have their religions where they belong. Definitely they try to pick out into issues that are affecting one religion and leaving themselves. Let's say if I'm a Catholic, definitely I will not go to fight for peace in my religion, but I will look into the problem that is in the other religion. Definitely that has really created that religious indifference as we are trying to promote peace in this region.
Yeah, we've done so many things. Like for us in Kasese, we have a problem of floods. At least we are campaigning for tree planting. We are telling women at least in every land, they should plant at least 10 trees to at least to protect or to prevent these floods. Because when a woman is carrying luggage now and then, of course there's no peace in her home. There will not be food. For example, recently we had floods in Rukoki sub-county in Kasika village. Women, they're no longer in their homes, they're now in a camp. Of course, they are suffering, and you know the disadvantages of being in a camp. Of course, children will adopt other behaviors from other families. There will not be enough food. People will not feed as expected. People will misbehave. You know, we have different characters and different behaviors. And when we are put in the camps, of course, things will not be the same. So at least we are campaigning that each woman should at least plant more than 10 trees. Like we had this campaign of planting bamboo trees. For one, I mobilized women, like about 10 groups of them. They planted nursery beds. A few of them have sold their trees to WWF, and they've earned something little, and again protecting the environment. So at least we are campaigning for women to make sure they take care of the environment in order to be peaceful.
So women that, especially the women we have involved in this project, have done a lot in as far as peace building is concerned in the region. They have actually come up even with some innovations that we never ever told them. For example, in Kasese, there is a sub-county where women decided to establish a committee of 5 of them, and whenever there is a conflict, they work together to make sure that this conflict is resolved. They also go ahead to sensitize their communities on an emerging peace building issue. For example, during the harvest season, they work with their chairpersons, LC1s, they call for community meetings, and then sensitize people on how best they can benefit from their harvest without causing gender-based violence. It should be noted that previously in their communities, whenever it was a harvest season, there would be gender-based violence. People would start disagreeing on who takes the money from the produce, on who takes the bigger share, on what to spend on. So these women came up with that initiative. They sit down, people in their communities, and by the way, both men and women, and then explain to them how best they can cooperate in their homes, how they can work as partners in their homes, rather than working in isolation. Then they also mediate conflicts that are upcoming, for example, land conflicts, and they work with different structures in doing this. For us, we played a role in establishing a very strong referral pathway. So we showed them other structures in the referral pathway that they can work with. So when they are faced, for example, with a land conflict, they run to the land committee, and then they get someone to work with in order to resolve that conflict. When they are faced with gender-based violence, they run to their community development officers, to their gender officers, even gender ministers from their cultural institutions, and they try to resolve the issue at hand. When they are faced with some issues which are even criminal, they run to police. They tell them, you know, we are suspecting defilement in this area and we need your help. And they even go ahead to follow up. Recently, we were sharing with one of our colleagues, a community reporter, a female from Bundubujo, and told us how she successfully followed up an issue of defilement whereby a teacher, a primary school teacher, defiled his pupil. At first, they tried to confuse her, but she went ahead and followed up and made sure that this gentleman was brought to book. And she says she shows a lot of determination. That is what we want, because recently our people were dying silently. They defile them, they pay a very small fee, they spoil the future of this child, and the whole community goes silent about it. So we feel very confident that this structure that we have established of female community reporters are doing a great work, that even after the project, we believe they will continue doing work because they have a support system of district local governments, of community development officers, of RDCs, of police, that they can always work with to make sure that there is peace in the region.